Oh no.
Last video, I speculated that CS2 using subtick might be running closer to the environment of a 128-tick server, but now I think my speculation might be incorrect, and the CS2 server that I captured resembles closer to a 64-tick server. So here's an update video. The biggest reason for my change of thoughts is that the length of a packet cannot exceed 1500 bytes because of the MTU limit. You can see the length here. On the 64-tick server that I captured packets from, we can see the length not being even close to 1500. The same can be said about the 128-tick server. Then, if we look at the CS2 server, it has some really chunky packets. Maybe it's because of the subtick system that they're so large, but the 1500 limit could explain why the packets are split into two. Here's what I think now. Because the packet is so large, it needs to be split into a secondary packet that is sent immediately after the first one, which could explain why the time between the first and second one is so fast. And theoretically speaking, if it could send the packets without splitting them, assuming that's what's happening.
Why the packets so large? That's a really bad thing, no? Uh-oh.
We would be seeing 64 packets per second, and the average millisecond would double. This means it would look more like a 64-tick server. This is why I think my speculation from last video is probably incorrect. What feels more likely to be true is that the server was running closer to a 64-tick environment, but because the packets are so large, they needed to be split into two. But how does that then explain why shooting in-game feels just as precise as a 128-tick server on CS2 servers? Well, I definitely think subtick is working, but I also believe that we can't really see it from these captured packets. Maybe the increased length of each packet on the CS2 server is partly the result of subtick. The more I think about it, the more I feel like this makes more sense to me that the CS2 server was running more like a 64-tick server, but subtick is still working somehow. I just don't know how. What do you guys think? Am I wrong here? Am I right? Let me know down below. Peace.
Wasn't there a Reddit thread where people say that, probably as well just speculation, but that it will be as fast as on LAN when you have like low ping, like very, very low ping. Server and client still synchronizes 64 times a second, but packets now include more precise data on when exactly something happens. So the packets are much chunkier now, and it feels better to play because of precision and also because of placebo. Ultimately, I find it to be more reasonable to me. Also, just to make it clear, I don't consider it a negative thing that it resembles 64-tick, particularly if subtick functionality is working as intended. Yeah, I mean, it feels crisp if I play, I don't know.